What's up, everyone? I am in Heraklion, Crete, Greece. Country number 30 for me. I am so excited to be here and explore Crete over these next few days. I'm going to go over to Hania as well, but to be able to see what Greek culture is like for the very first time, to be able to see the ruins and just all of the history. Crete has so much history, so we're going to get into a deep dive into it, and as well see what the daily life is like and the views that you are going to get throughout the city, especially looking out into the Mediterranean. It's incredible. We're going to go out to the fortress, which is going to be really insightful as well as being fun, of course, and just look out there seeing the volcanic ranges. Okay, let's get into it. Okay guys, before we get into the video, you know Greece is all about the beach, the good vibes, the island lifestyle. Well, let me introduce you to today's sponsor of the video, Wave Creations. In fact, I am wearing this shirt right now, and this brand, it stands out. One of my favorite lifestyle brands that I have come across. I mean, you see the designs on the screen. They have sweatshirts, t-shirts, jewelry, accessories. It was actually started by two sisters over COVID, Madison and Paige Governale. They have also been traveling America, going to trade shows. They are really killing it. And these designs, yeah, if you are a big surfer, you love to go on boats, you love the beach, but even if you live inland, you just love lifestyle. If you see a design, come on, go get yourself. I'm going to take you to the Koules Fortress, and when you look up Heraklion on Google, literally like the first 3 pictures that appear are of this fortress. It was built in the 16th century by the Venetians, and it still remains in great condition today. And of course, you see it extends into the Mediterranean, and it is right alongside the marina. So the way that they have brought the present day into the past comes together so well. So this marina, which is really nice, this is the main one in Heraklion. Right behind it, you see the apartments, and then just as you start getting into the busy city. But I'm gonna show you the marina right after we go to the fortress. This was built in the 16th century by the Venetians. That's a common theme that we're seeing all throughout Heraklion. It's 2 stories tall. It features rooms, barracks, and even a prison in here. And it is very, very thick. It's built that it's really meant to withstand any single cannon attack. You know, if there are multiple, of course, like this thing might come coming down, but just one singular fire, this is strong enough. I mean, look at this clip right now. You see how deep it goes. I read online it was 2 stories, but no way. This one, it has to be like 4. Whoa. And how about this? Come up to the terrace and see what it's like from the very top. You can now get the feeling of what it was like when they were looking out for potential enemies from here. You see everything behind me where they had probably all their ammunition and troops, and then right through here, the little hole where you can see out into the Mediterranean to see who's potentially coming. And now they have a cafe up here as well, so grab something to eat in the old fortress. I always try to look for the thumbnail shot, and this is 100% it. Look right behind me, marina, and then the city behind it, right in the fortress. Nothing beats this. Yeah, you gotta come into the fortress and come on top and get this great view. All of the boats are this pristine white. There's some fishing boats too. You can go into the market and you see all the fresh fish that there is. Probably caught this morning. I'm in one of the shopping pavilion areas now, and of course it's rather empty because it's so early on a Saturday morning, but I love how lights are strung up. It's not long, it's like 2 blocks long, but there is a Zara and a few other big name stores, a bunch of others that are, you could tell, small businesses, and some that are like European based chains, but it's not that big, so I wonder if there's more of these around. It's a cool mix because some are designer brands, and then a lot are also just regular markets. And look at this street that I'm walking down right now. This is cool. So it's still part of the same area, but how you have the shutters that are overhanging things. Early morning, a lot of bakeries and cafes open. Okay, never mind. It's a lot bigger than I thought. It's a really nice area. It has a different vibe than the other pavilion walkways that you get in every European city. So I love how you have the restaurants, but also just the way the setup is with the trees going throughout. There's the fountain fountain right behind me. And it's not like it's just one street that's continuously going. It's more so of like a block. You can go down this way, you can go down this way. And wow, the fountain, this is the Morosini fountain. It was built in 1929 by the Venetians and it's still holding strong. A lot of the restaurants are preparing to open up for lunch. So I bet once that starts, this place is going to get a lot more packed and energized. Of course, the restaurants are the typical Greek cuisine. Gotta love the bakeries, restaurants, and cafes right below the apartments. And alongside this strip, it's all local shops. A lot of shoes, bags, other clothes, and jewelry. Look at this really nice little mini outdoor strip mall I found with restaurants. It has 2 layers and no tourists around. I have no idea the name of it. It is in the northwest part of the city, but there is a restaurant. Let's find a restaurant. Called There's a restaurant called Casual Kuzina, so that's what I'll put on the bottom of the screen. That's why you're seeing it here. So if you want to come to this area, just look up that restaurant, put it into your phone, and see, it looks fun. There are like 4 different restaurants too. It's about a block long. Now I'm just sitting here, relaxing on a bench, right by a tree, just observing. Crete was the heart of the Minoan civilization dating back to 2700 BCE. Since then, it has been under control of a lot of different empires, from the Romans, Byzantines, Ottomans, and during World War II, Germany tried to invade here, but they were thwarted. While Crete is very similar to the mainland in terms of just overall Greek culture, there are distinct differences, and that has to do with the Minoan and Venetian influence. And the Venetians controlled here during the 13th century up until parts of the 17th century. The people of Crete are very proud of their identity, much more so than those from the mainland. And from what I've heard is that it is the Florida of Greece in terms of just differentiation and culture. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but if you are Greek and you're very familiar with Floridian culture, like, tell me if there are similarities. The landscape of Crete is pretty cool too, because obviously it's an island right in the middle of the Mediterranean, but it's a volcanic island. So you can go see in the distance, the volcano's just shooting up. The largest city in Crete is the one I'm in right now, Heraklion, and the population has around 170,000 people. The other large city, Hania, which has around like 100,000 people, that is on the western part of the island, and the one I am about to go to shortly. This is actually my very first glimpse ever at the Mediterranean Sea. Look at just how clear the water is. Look at all the little fish that you see right here up alongside the fort. You need to make sure you get out of the touristy area and walk through the other parts of the city, because it's very different, like vastly, but very interesting. I'm so glad I'm walking through it. It very quickly turns into all the apartments and all of the local markets. Here's the Monastery of St.Peter and St. Paul. This is an active church. Of course, this has been refurbished, but look how it's right in the middle of the ruins. I mean, the fact that they are able to preserve history like this and continue to build stuff within that fits the theme of, I assume this is where an old church used to be, and still make the new church look very old. This is what's so special about Greece, is that you just stumble upon such historic things that are preserved just like this, like these ruins. And the ruins extend further. Look, here are more from the old monastery. And look, right on the Mediterranean. If you want to get an even deeper dive on the history of Crete, literally go to the Historical Museum of Crete right here. It's right by the monastery I just showed you before. Quick stop, the Gate of Dermata. Of course, it's ancient ruins, and it was part of the fortification of the city, still standing strong today. It was built to connect 2 bastions. The tap water here is drinkable, but unfortunately there's literally nowhere around the city for you to fill up a reusable water bottle. So I had to buy this 1.5 liter, but it costed only 70, not cents, but whatever the euro equivalent was to cents. It was less than €1. This is a destination that is very seasonal, and it relies heavily on the vacationers. And I don't want to say heavily on the cruise lines, because it doesn't, but the cruise lines definitely supplement the economy. This is a place where you come and you relax. You know, it's not like a big bustling city where you're constantly on the move. So that's why as well, amongst the visitors here, it tends to be the older crowd that's coming in, staying here. The entire Greek Greek islands is very popular with that. Mykonos, Santorini. Many people will hop around the Greek islands. One way to do that is cruises, but the other way is by ferries. They operate tons of these, so many different companies taking you from one to the other. I was actually thinking about taking an overnight ferry to go to Athens. It would have been 10 hours, but these ferries, it's not like what you would think where you just get on a boat and it's like a little seat like what they have if you take a ferry of like what there are ferries in the United States. No, these are ones that you can actually, you get your own room. They have buffets, you have to pay for those, but they're actually like pretty nice. It's almost like a mini one-night cruise. The entirety of the Greek Isles are very well connected when it comes to that. There are also flights that go between them, but those tend to be very expensive. Motorcycles seem to be really big here, but I guess that makes sense. They're fast, and say you gotta move around quickly, especially with the hills. They're easy forms of transportation. Look, there's one right there. As the day goes along, there are even more motorcycles. I had no idea they were such a big part of the culture here. Here's Georgiades Park. Nice place to come and walk around, but the monument's the cool part. This is the monument to the Battle of Crete. And no, this doesn't commemorate something from the ancient times. It's actually fairly recent in terms of history. 1941, it's to commemorate the resistance of the Cretan people and the Allied forces that were here to stop the German invasion to Crete during World War II. And what's so significant is this was really one of the first times that civilians played a huge role in stopping the Nazi forces. For lunch, I got this calzone. I have no idea what's inside. It tastes like some cheese and something else. This was only $2.50 and it's like 7 inches long. I also got this. They said it was a pirolini. Probably something Greek, like a Greek pizza. It's a dough and it has cheese and sauce wrapped inside. Also ham too. I'm noticing ham with pizza. That's a big thing in the Balkans. Right now, I'm walking through the Venetian Walls of Heraklion. And this is really cool because these are the actual structures that was built way back when. And you see how we are in, it's like a tunnel and it curves in and out. They're doing some restoration to it right now, so we can't see the whole thing, but at least we're able to go down this one path and really go back centuries upon centuries. Look, even more ruins that I was just walking up alongside the water and then I just stumble across them. In terms of the apartments, things are rather condensed. They seem pretty tight. You know, there's nothing flashy about it, but they all seem like they're functional. It's not like any of the buildings have bright colors or anything. It's all pretty much just this beige. Infrastructure-wise, I think they're lagging behind the rest of the Balkans, which is lagging behind Western Europe. I mean, it's, you know, functional. That's the word that I'll use. Nothing crazy. One of the big things you'll find here, tours, whether that be land tours or from the cruises. So today, there are actually 3 ships here. There's one Royal Caribbean, one Norwegian, and a Ritz-Carlton cruise ship. And I'm also seeing a bunch of the land tours as well. I love seeing the words in Greek because it's so cool seeing an alphabet I don't understand. My time in Heraklion, Crete, Greece has come to an end, and I am so glad I got to spend an entire day here. Sure, there are parts of it that are very touristy, and this is definitely a seasonal travel destination. People really come here in between June and like mid-October because that's when the weather's the best. Not saying that if you come in like December or January, the weather won't be good. It'll be like high of 60 degrees, but I really enjoyed being able to see the Mediterranean for the first time, be able to see the ancient Greek ruins that are still up, even though really not ancient Greek, a lot of this are Venetian as we went into, be able to see the fort and just walk up throughout the streets. I got a real feel for what Heraklion is like, and if you ask me, should you come here? I say 100% absolutely, especially if you love the Greek Isles. And for me, also, by the way, I am not a fan of these beachy, cruisy destinations that are really for the warmth and being able to, people just come here for the sake of vacationing. I'm much more into big cities and all that, which this isn't, but I still really loved my time here. So on to Hania now, the other side of Crete.